Hi boys and girls, it's Mr. Silas. I'm here in the Boys and Girls Club garden. A lot of us have been working really hard to make sure that we get things planted so you guys can enjoy fresh produce. We've already planted radishes, carrots, watermelons, pumpkins, and some of the green beans that you guys loved so much last year. Today, I'm going to be planting some tomatoes. So tomatoes, obviously you can eat raw. With salt and pepper, they're really good, or in a salad. But you could also cook them down with some onions and oregano and basil and some garlic to make a really good pasta or pizza sauce. Or you could leave them raw, chop them up with onions and peppers, and have a really good salsa to eat with chips. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna dig a hole. And I've dug this first hole for us. As you can see, this is about 4 inches tall. So we want to dig our hole about 6 inches deep and a few more inches wide than this circle is. So we're just going to gently turn this guy over and squeeze him. And the whole thing will come out like that. I'm going to break up these roots just a little bit so that they can grow better. And then I'll place them down in the hole. We're slowly just going to fill in this hole. And very, very gently, we're going to pat it down around the base so that we can be sure he doesn't go flying away in this wind. We've had a recent cold snap, but I think that most of that has passed and these tomatoes should be really happy. Now, I dug the first hole before I got on the video, but we're going to dig this second hole together. Okay. Here we are at hole number 2. The first tomato plant that we planted was called a Cherokee Purple. This is an heirloom tomato, which means that this seed has been around for hundreds of years. People have worked really hard to preserve these seeds over a really long time, so it's cool that we get to grow them here. This one's also an heirloom tomato. This one's called a yellow pear cherry tomato. So it's gonna give us these cute little yellow pears, and they're gonna be really nice and sweet like a cherry tomato. They almost taste like dessert. I remember some of you guys picking them right off the plant last year during summer camp and popping them into your mouth like they were candy. So here we go, planting our second hole. I'm gonna put on gloves for this, even though I've been playing in the dirt. There might be something pokey and I don't wanna get stabbed by anything. So, like I said before, I'm gonna dig this hole 5 or 6 inches deep. I'm just gonna stick that spade right in there and I'll pull out the dirt. And I want it to be just a few inches wider than our plant ring is around wide, so that it can really fit down in there and we can nestle it in the dirt. Again, I'm gonna take this plant and I'm just gonna turn it over. Squeeze the bottom a little bit, free up all the soil, and then turn it over. If you planted our native garden last year during summer camp, you might remember some of our garden volunteers, our master gardeners, telling us this is called tickling the roots. And we're just tickling those roots so that we can break up the soil and they can get into our garden soil a little bit better. They've been sitting in that little plastic cup for probably a pretty long time. So now I'm just gonna set this one down in here. I'll push the dirt around. And just like before, we're gonna gently pat all around the base. I wanna make sure that it's firm in here, but also that I don't squish it. And here's a cool rock that somebody painted from our program here at the Central Unit. And I'm gonna put it right by our plant to keep him company. And then I'm gonna take the tag and I'm gonna stick it in here so that when we come back later, we don't forget that these were our golden pear tomatoes. So I have to do one more thing, and that's get some cages. We're gonna put cages around these tomatoes. I know that they look harmless now, but soon they're gonna be huge. And if we don't put a cage in there, then they will just go wild and they'll grow wherever they want. So we're gonna keep them nice and compact all together so that we can get our tomatoes off easier. And that's so our other plants around here, we have some herbs that we're gonna plant, some basil and some oregano like I was talking about. And we wanna make sure that the tomatoes don't overpower those other plants. Those plants still need to get their rainwater and their sunshine. So we're gonna cage these guys in. And this is what a tomato cage looks like. Now that we have our tomatoes in their cages, all we gotta do now is make sure that they have enough water. So I'm gonna go grab a watering can. Oh hey, I just thought of something. Do you know what other kind of plant needs a cage? Wildflowers. Oh, why do I even try? I'll just go get that water. Okay, I got the water. Now it's time for our very last step. Every time that we plant a new plant, we need to water it to make sure that it starts to grow. So I got a big watering can here, and we just want to make sure that it's soaked all around the base. You don't have to water the leaves. It doesn't absorb any water through its leaves. This is where it gets its sunlight. And on hot, sunny days, the water on the leaves can help the sun to burn the leaves, and that's not good for our plant. So we're just gonna practice by watering down here at the base. Oh hey, thanks for joining me in the garden today. If you want to plant a garden at home but you don't have a lot of space, they have special tomatoes that are perfect for planting in containers and pots outside your house. Also, you can plant herbs right in there with them. You can have a whole salsa garden or pizza sauce waiting to happen. Don't forget to clean up after yourself and ask your parents first. Bye.